The Mercedes-Benz Interview Lounge.
Hey, Jonas, how long ago did you write that song? How long ago was it? When did you write one?
How long ago did we write that? I was in LA in early April, and that was inspired by hearing these guys on the radio doing an interview. So I got back to London about a week later. So it was about the second week of April that I wrote that song.
Okay, hold on. As a songwriter, which I'm not, so you hear Jack and Jack doing an interview on the radio, I guess? And you said, I'm going to write Rise for these guys.
Yeah.
Connect those dots for me.
Well, what happened was I was in LA doing some sessions and doing some gigs, and I heard these guys being interviewed on the radio. And if I'm honest, I know all your listeners are going to hate me right now. I didn't know who Jack and Jack were.
Oh, no. Well, that's okay.
Okay, go.
Yeah,
Okay,
there are four.
I was so offended when I heard that, Jonas.
There are four people. There were four people who don't know who they are.
Yeah, so that was what happened. But I was really inspired by this story and what they were talking about on air and the whole kind of millennial generation. I think it was you, Jay, that was basically saying about the whole kind of millennial generation, how it's quite looked down on and, you know, never really kind of given a chance. And I was like, oh, do you know what? I really like that story and that concept. I'm always kind of looking for fresh concepts. And I was like, no one's ever really done a song about millennials, but making it a positive and making it almost like an anthem. And then mixed with what I do, which is, you know, super happy, positive songs, I thought I could take that story, take it back to London, create a positive out of it, send it back to the guys and be like, hey, you know, I was inspired by what you were talking about on air. Would you be up for singing this and you know, being the
I'm so
artist
happy
on
you
it?
did that. Because you know what? And we talk about this on our show all the time. There's always a story about how millennials are so lazy, the future's going to suck. I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
I'm lazy.
I mean, hey, listen.
you don't want
to thing from lazy. You're the furthest thing from lazy.
Yeah,
you're up at like
You're
6
up here
a.m.
with
every
us,
day.
you know, 7 a.m.
Okay, so let's go across the room. Jack and Jack.
Yes, what's up?
That was creepy. I mean, when you're connected with a Jonas Blue, and you're like, well, I mean,
yeah, pretty wild. I mean, okay, if we're honest, I didn't know who he was either.
But that's when I was super happy. I was like, there we
But
go.
we had heard his songs, though. We had for sure heard his songs.
Yes, I heard Mama. I heard Perfect Strangers.
Right,
I mean, pretty impossible to
Car
escape
remix.
those when you're in the club or if you're overseas. It's like everywhere.
Or
So
just if you're alive in general. Yeah.
exactly. So obviously we were like, okay, let me check this guy out. I figured out about all of his music. Johnson kind of knows everything better than I do I mean, just in terms of everything. So he knew Jonas.
I'll take it.
And we were like, dude, this is a sick opportunity. Like, we've always wanted to make a dance track. We didn't feel like it was necessarily something that we could do on our own. So the fact that, you know, someone like Jonas Blue came along and allowed us to make it a dance track of our own is just awesome.
Look at that. Collaborations still, like Danielle and I talk about it all the time. We love the artists that spin through here and the music we play, but when it comes to the collaborations, to me, that's the energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the one thing that I've kind of done since I came out with my debut single is I've always tried to look for new talent or talent that hasn't essentially been given a chance on a broader level. So when I obviously had success with my singles and created this amazing platform, I still wanted to be able to kind of find these amazing talents. So finding people like Jack and Jack, William Singe, you know, JP Cooper, all these kind of people, they add such an amazing element. You know, they have such strong fan bases, such amazing talent, and you know, if I can give them that chance to, you know, perform on my records, I mean, I'm grateful as it is. So, you know, it just adds that extra finesse.
Well, let me screw it up a little bit.
Oh.
Danielle.
Yeah.
He won't admit it, and no one will admit it. But do you know who Jonas Blue discovered?
No.
Dua Lipa.
Did you really?
Wait.
Absolutely.
I don't know this.
You guys didn't know that either?
Absolutely.
Shaking his head,
Dua
he's
Lipa, I'm telling you right now.
Why are you shaking your head?
Yeah, you know what?
I mean, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Wait, but give us the story. What's the story?
You knew about Dua Lipa before most people knew about Dua Lipa.
I mean, I knew about Dua pretty early. I did actually slide into the DMs and ask for a collab. That was quite early on.
You slid into the DMs, asked for a collab.
A collab.
I would love to hear that, though.
Well, we were doing a gig in the UK, and I think she had Be the One out at the time, and that was kind of really it. And I mean, she was just the way she performed, her voice, and the fact that she was from the UK. I was just like, I need to do a collaboration with this girl. And I had my singles out at the time that were doing pretty well.
No,
and I was like,
I didn't say you didn't do well.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, you know, I can slide into the DMs, and that collab will happen. And she was like, oh yeah, I'm super busy at the moment. I was like, oh
wow.
And then about a year later, Calvin Harris slid into the DMs, and
There you go.
So I'm
got
hearing
one key.
is,
I feel like I was turned down.
you know what I know. You know what I'm hearing a lot of here, Danielle? A lot of sliding in.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Noticing that. Noticing that.
So,
For business purposes only, though.
Yeah, of course. So as you heard Rise a moment ago with Jack and Jack, Jonas Blue was playing the keyboard. Jonas started out with ready? What
Yep.
instrument did he start out with?
I don't know.
You'll never guess. The flute.
Really?
Absolutely.
I did that too, but that didn't turn out well.
Well, you're both
Wait,
here.
you played flute, Jonas, growing up?
Yeah.
No way.
No,
Yeah,
were you
ha-
were first flute when the first chair?
Yeah.
Oh, I was the last chair.
Have you still got your flute?
No.
Bro, why didn't you play it during our live lounge, Jonas? You should play the flute in the intro.
I mean, I
Do
could
you
have.
still have yours?
Okay.
I do, yeah.
Okay, may I make a suggestion?
No.
No, I'm going to make
I
it
know
anyway.
what's coming.
No, it's going to be good.
Okay.
You know, when you're let's say you're on stage, you're spinning, whatever, you got a party going. Bring out the flute. No, like it's hooked up with a lead on it, whatever those things are called. And like add some flute
Do you
to the
think
mix.
that's a party starter right
Yes,
there?
No,
I
truly.
think it would freak out the party, man.
Yo, we were at a party the other day, poolside. This dude busted out a
Violin.
saxophone.
Okay,
No,
you're thinking
saxophone.
different guy.
Different
Never
guy.
mind. My
Yeah,
bad.
yeah.
Okay.
But a
This dude busted out-
saxophone and a flute are very different.
Well, but they're both
Winwoods.
brasses or something.
Woodwinds.
I don't know my
Woodwinds.
musical genre.
Woodwinds,
I don't know my
yeah.
instrument genres. But regardless, it definitely livened the party, and it was unexpected. You know?
Yeah, but there's a difference between sax and
Yeah,
flute.
you're
You do
right.
understand?
Saxophone's got a little more of a party
Sax
vibe, too.
is sexy. Flute,
Okay.
not so much.
There are
Hey,
look,
well, when Jonas is playing, he'll make it sexy.
you know what? Can you get?
I don't know about that.
Jonas Blue doesn't like my idea. Would you get Marshmallow on the phone? I know, but let's be honest. How can he play a flute with that head, huh?
True.
Impossible.
So now Jonas, you've been hanging out in New York for a few days. I know that you and Liam Payne were walking around. I saw you walking hand in hand. It was very romantic. And we have Liam Payne at our show tonight.
Yeah.
I love Liam, by the way. I think he's fabulous. But Jack and Jack, they flew in just for this
Yeah.
appearance today.
Yeah, man.
Because we love you.
I mean, this is very important. Bottom line.
I hope there's a payoff for you. I'm kidding.
No, we don't need that. It's just like we love doing anything to help the track, and we feel like it's just starting to come over to the U.S. And obviously, any time that we come to New York, we want to stop by Z100 and Elvis. So it's like win-win
and-
for everybody.
And that was cool,
Facts.
because it's like with the version that we did for you there, it's taking it back to the kind of live acoustic versions, which I think is important, especially for, you guys over here. It's nice to strip it down and take it back to its originality. So, yeah, we had fun. Thank you for bringing us down.
Artists need to be paid for what they do. When you take music from them and you don't pay for it, that's not cool.
Right.
That's like walking into an art gallery and taking a painting off the wall and running out the door with it. That artist should be compensated. It doesn't matter if it's $45 or $45 billion.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. These are artists. Jack, Jonas, you're artists. You should always be compensated for the
Definitely.
work
I
you
mean,
do.
we're working
Spreading our
hard.
backs.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, Elvis.
yeah.
We're working hard, so, hopefully we get paid.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
But at the end of
Paycheck's
the
the
day,
last thing on my mind at the
yeah,
end of
at
the
the
day.
end of the day, it's about spreading positivity,
Changing the
love,
world,
good
yeah.
music. It's what we do. It's all good.
And I love how you said that because, Jonas, you covered that at the beginning of the interview about how you definitely strive to use your music as a way to lift people up.
I mean, for me, I perform, a lot of festivals, a lot of clubs around the world. To me, there is still nothing better. Money can't beat it. Nothing can beat it. Playing a song to thousands of people, and those thousands of people singing those lyrics back to you, there is no better feeling in the world. So when you're having an impact on people's lives like that, and a song that you wrote in a small London studio is changing people's lives, in the States or South America or wherever, that means more to me and I'm sure us than anything.
Yeah.
So
Straight up.
yeah, that's an incredible feeling, and to be able to travel and do that, it's the best thing in the world.
I'm going to ask you guys a question, each one of you.
All right.
Now, I'll give you a second to think about it. Do we have music to think by?
Jeopardy music.
Jeopardy music?
Who are you going to ask first, Jack or Jack?
Jack, and Jonas, and Jonas, Jack, and Jack. Well, and whoever's ready to go first.
Try and say that really fast, about 20 times.
I will not do that. And I'm being serious. I want you to think about this. This is a question I'm asking all of our friends who come through. Think about a song. Think about your life as, a series of songs that made changes in your life. Think of that one song growing up or of recent that made a shift in your life. Something every time you hear it, you're like, whoa, that reminds me of how I decided to think differently about this, and this. Or that's the song that opened these doors. A song that you heard by another artist, preferably. Preferably. Think about what that song could be. All right. Think about that.
Okay, yeah,
Mine
this
was
is
Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen.
Really?
Wow, great song.
I feel
Changed my life.
And
All right.
How did it change your life, Elvis?
Because you know what? Listening to the crazy production that went into it, it
For
was
that time,
a rock band with opera sound.
Yeah, right.
I'm
Inspiring.
listening to it on my brother's in a big system.
Yeah.
Scratched the record. It was on vinyl. It was great. It changed my life because it was like 15 songs in one song. It thought it was just the most ingenious
Isn't
way.
that song
Crazy,
like
right?
8-9 minutes long or something like that?
That's a bathroom break song.
It's
for
not
us.
long enough. Yeah.
Okay, so I
Dude.
have mine. I mean, if you guys.
Okay, go yours, and
I
that
can
might
take the
change
reins.
Okay,
mine.
the song that changed your life and how it did so.
This song, it was actually pretty recently, probably about like 3 years ago it came out. Anderson .Paak, if you're familiar with him.
Never want to waste your time.
Yeah. So he has a song with this producer Knowledge, and they have a group called No Worries together. And it was called Get Bigger. And the whole song is about him leaving home at 17, which, we left home at 17.
Very
and so
true.
like there was already those things that I could relate to. And it was about, he quit his day job working at a I think grocery store. He was pushing carts and whatnot, and, stacking carts. And eventually he realized this wasn't his calling. This isn't like his purpose in life. And so he quit his job, flat out. And he explains this all in the verses. And he's like, it's all about getting bigger and, always striving to do better and get bigger. And really inspiring songs. So
That song was about you in a way.
maybe in a sense, But yeah,
Absolutely,
shout out to
yeah.
Anderson .Paak, Knowledge, Get Bigger. Definitely an anthem that just, inspires you to just,
All right.
fulfill your dreams, truly.
Dude.
Cool. Okay,
That's
who's
mine.
next?
All
Jack,
right, okay.
Jonas, Jack.
I have two, but I shouldn't. I should have one.
Just give me the one that really truly made a lasting impact on your life.
I mean, one continues. They both do. Okay.
Just give me one. Throw one out.
Okay.
Alphabetical order. something.
Alphabetical order.
Yeah, I don't know,
okay,
whatever.
okay. Then I have to go Mr. Brightside by the Killers. I mean,
Okay.
Ooh.
Why is that?
It's just like one of those songs that I feel like just brings people together. But for me personally, no, actually, I'm not doing that song. I'm gonna do Chasing Cars by Snow Patrol.
But wait a minute. Why are you skipping a song? Is it too personal?
No, because Mr. Brightside, I was thinking it's about everybody. I want one that's just like, that changed me. You know?
Something that changed you is.
Okay. What did I just say? Snow Patrol, Chasing Cars.
Yeah.
That song is so nostalgic for me. I don't know why. Maybe because
Wasn't that your and Liz's song?
no, that was Every Time We Touch. Every time we touch.
Okay.
That's God.
No,
Big
This is
fan.
8th grade girlfriend.
Sorry. Okay, I'm getting way off.
I was the
topic.
matchmaker.
All right,
I got
you-
them together.
Snow Patrol, Chasing Cars. It's just something about the way the guitar comes in at the beginning, like just makes you just instantly a tear comes out of my eye, and I feel like
I've seen it.
it
Seen a
just
tear come.
I don't know why. I can just sit and listen to that song, and I love when it rains, and I put that song on. Dude, I'm gonna cry
making
right
Jack
now.
cry.
Wait for the tear. Wait for the tear.
This is serious stuff.
We'll do
I see it well enough.
Like,
You know
listen
what?
to this man.
Okay, so I must assume there was something going on in your life at that time that you may not even remember.
Yeah.
But that song was happening at the same time, and it really truly affected you, and you may never ever really be able to figure out what that was. Is this getting too deep in
No,
here?
No.
listen, I think every time that I feel a certain way about someone, or like I miss someone like that, like I listen to this song and it's like, it just makes everything worse.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, excellent.
But I love it. I love it.
All right, Jonas. This is a deep feelings session.
Yeah.
Sorry, I made
I'm
that,
so
yeah.
glad you guys missed the nude encounter group we had earlier. Now,
What?
Jonas, what?
I'm gonna liven things up. I feel like we took it down.
Yeah, I'm
Go
sorry,
ahead,
man.
go ahead.
Yeah,
What
we
song- what
went
song-
deep into G's feelings.
Jonas
we
Blue,
went-
what song changed your life?
Michael Jackson, Billie Jean.
There you go.
Yeah.
What a song.
Because from a kind of a production point of view, for that period of time, I think same for you with Bohemian Rhapsody. What Quincy and those guys did back then. I mean, you listen to that beat. I can play that in a club now, and that would stand up against any song.
Yeah,
so for
right?
that period of time, to have a song that was that sonically fast forward,
Sonically fast forward.
that changed my life.
You listen to these albums, these Michael Jackson albums,
Yeah.
you hear something new every time
know.
you're listening to them.
Facts. That really stands out.
There it is.
What?
I'm getting goosebumps. This is nice. I get it.
Yeah, so, and then topped with an incredible song on top of it.
There you go.
That was what changed everything for me.
Can you imagine if Michael Jackson were still alive? Like,
Oh, bro.
well, we have no idea what he'd be doing, but you can imagine how incredible it would be, whatever it was.
His
I'd
music.
be- yeah.
I mean, I like, to be honest, I know it's controversial, but Drake's song with him, I like it.
You know what? You can like whatever you want to
I
like.
like it.
It moves you.
Yeah.
The point is this: music is just so much important than a lot of people think it is.
Universal language.
you could ask someone, what are the top 10 most important things in your life? And some of them may not put music in the top 10 unless you say, well, what about music? They'll go, whoa, number one.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
And
Go
it
back
is
to
so
that.
important.
It
It's
really is.
important. And
Yeah.
you guys are leaving legacy. Right now, these are your current things you're working on. But 10, 20 years from now, people will be going, remember that year, 2018? Jack and Jonas Blue were on that show by that old guy that hosted that show. You're leaving these footprints, and I think that's cool. So with anything and everything you guys do, whether it's on a stage, in a studio, just shaking hands, you're making these impacts. And I say congratulations to all three
Thank
of you.
you.
Thanks
And
so
to
much.
have you,
Appreciate it.
the three of you here together, the fact that you went through all these fiery hoops to get here, I appreciate it.
We
Thank
appreciate
you.
you, Elvis. Thanks for
Thank
having
you.
us on,
Thank you
man.
so
for real.
much.
Yes.
Much love. All right. Now get out of here.
All right. Adios. We love you, man.
It's Jack, Jonas Blue. Thanks for coming in this morning.
Thanks for
Thanks,
having us.
Elvis.